joined now, though, by Denis Campbell, American-born, but I think he qualifies as a non-Ruddy Welshman, as he now lives with his family in the village of Monknash in the Vale of Glamorgan. Denis is editor of UK Progressive. It's an e-magazine. He's a journalist, a writer, a political and business commentator. So he wears many hats and a wonderful pullover this morning, I have to say, too. Denis, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Well, compliments of the season to you as well.
And to you.
Yeah, it's a kind of jumper you'd get as a Christmas present, but it's not Christmas yet.
It is. It's one that I actually picked up down in Australia.
Was it? It's very colourful, I have to say. Fair play. Yes, that's right. So, we got snow here. We get excited about it. Now, where you're from Northeast America?
I'm from the Northeast. I grew up in New England, and we still talk about the legendary blizzard of 1978, where
really
we had about 30-something inches of snow 3 times in the span of about 6 weeks. So we were literally up to the roof lines with snow, and it was terrible.
But it's an area that gets quite a bit of snow anyway, doesn't it?
It is.
Yes,
it does.
It's very seasonal. You're very tidy in the United States, as in parts of it anyway. You tend to get seasons which are in their place, as it were.
Well, yeah, and the snowfall usually tends to come so that we do end up with a white Christmas, and this year is no exception. There's about 2 feet of snow on the ground from Washington, D.C. all up into New England right now.
Yeah, quite. And you're not going home?
No, this is home.
This is home now. There we go. Yeah. When was that winter when the governor, Michael Dukakis, he was running for president, wasn't he? Stuck in his office for a week.
He was. That was 1978.
Same year. Wow.
We had so much snow that the circular route would be the equivalent of the M25 around the city of Boston.
Yeah.
Was completely snowed in, and they had to bring in Army heavy lifting machinery to literally take the snow away, throw it off the side, move the cars and park them over to the side of the road. And people literally lived in a cinemaplex in Dedham, Massachusetts for a week.
And Mr. Dukakis didn't take it as a sign from the good Lord, leave it alone. We're going to keep you in the house.
No, he had that famous sweater on, and he was on the telly every day, every moment, giving everybody updates. Don't drive, stay home, stay indoors. And for that to happen in New England, it's a fairly serious deal.
It is, because I suppose because you get it every year, you're geared for it, aren't you, generally?
They are. They have much bigger budgets, and the equipment is set. I had some great difficulties getting off of the little farm roads near where I am because of the ice build up last night. We had a lot of sleet.
Yeah, so we did as well. That's right. That's class. So I just mentioned that, of course, if anyone has a memory of snow, and we go back to several times, there was an occasion, I think it was in the 70s, that Scotland were down here playing a rugby match against Wales, and as the game progressed, so it got colder and colder and colder. I don't know if the wingers out on the far sort of edges of the team were suffering from, kind of a frozen sort of situation, but many people didn't get home for days afterwards. I was home on the last bus to get into the Kernan Valley. But, so many people made new friends. Have you got a childhood memory that stays starkly in the mind?
Well, every year we do have so much snow over the course of an entire winter that you remember mostly what they do to try and move the snow out of the way, and of course they tend to deposit it right at the foot of everyone's drive. Yeah. And if you give the driver of the snowplow a $5, he'll at least push it up out of the way a little bit. But the memories of being in snowsuits that were so stiff and so, you couldn't even move, and your mother telling you to go outside and have fun, but you were protected against the elements, but you didn't dare move.
That's right. When was that tree that came through your house then?
Well, when I was 12 years old, we had on Christmas Eve a horrific storm, and we had a number of very, very old trees around the house, and what happened was the top of one of these old horsenut trees broke off, flipped around, and came through the roof on about 5 o'clock in the morning on Christmas morning, landing no more than about 1.5 feet away from my head. And
good grief.
It took most of the roof, the attic, and everything, and it was one of those moments where you're in sheer terror, and then you realize how close it actually was.
Yes.
But what really was the most positive remembrance of that whole time was how the local tradesmen in the neighborhood all banded together, and on Christmas morning we had somebody throwing temporary patches up on the exterior roof and interior roof, so that there was this just large sheet of plywood, but still the fact that somebody would come out on Christmas morning to do that.
That's tremendous. Now, we've taken on a lot of things from America. I was just thinking of Halloween, which is growing in sort of popularity here, an American import virtually, and the same with Christmas lights outside houses. We never used to have that. We'd have Christmas trees in a window, and you'd look in or whatever, and Christmas decorations in a house. But now wreaths, if you like, on the doors, and Christmas lights, like icicles on the house, and people decorating them so that pilots of 747 can see some of them. Yeah.
I think we can thank the National Lampoon Christmas holiday movie for that. Clark Griswold, decorating his house and requiring more electricity than was capable there. But there is a bit of keeping up with the Joneses that goes on, I know, in the States in that regard, and I don't know if that's a bit of it here. I did notice many more lights even this year than in the previous year, so it is something that...
Oh, some people have gone really overboard, it's extraordinary, and they must have an electricity bill that is something else.
Well, there was also the systems that they're building are so intricate. I picked up my daughter last night at a home that had no visible means of wires anywhere. So that means they've dug an underground trench of some sort into the house, into the electrical system. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of work to go through to have these lovely little bushes all covered.
I know one or two guys who would dig a trench to sort of, connect himself to the neighbour's house so that the bill has moved on. Tell me, Christmas dinner now. Do you have it in the same way as us, Christmas dinner? Is it turkey, for instance? Because you have that for Thanksgiving.
Turkey for Thanksgiving as well as turkey for Christmas.
Right.
You do... it's either turkey or goose. I'm not really quite sure how the tradition of the goose started, but they're very, you typically get these extraordinarily large birds, and they'll stuff them with all sorts of bread and things that and raisins and cranberries, and it makes for a lovely meal. Yeah. And all the trimmings, including mashed potatoes and the candied yams and everything you could possibly imagine. Right. And it's just a giant feeding frenzy. And cranberry sauce is also very, very big. You can't have turkey without cranberry sauce.
No, that's another import, you see, that we've sort of taken on board over here.
I couldn't find that when I first moved to Europe. I've been in Europe now for 12 years. We were in the Netherlands before. Yeah. And now here for 6 years. And I couldn't find cranberry sauce anywhere. And now there's huge displays of it every time you go through
we've certainly taken it on. Yeah. I was thinking as well, because you don't do Christmas in such a elongated or stretched way as we do, because school children used to have a fortnight's holiday, and they mostly do. But you find now that many companies are stretching towards that fortnight, certainly a week. Now, in America, am I right in saying that it's Christmas Day and then some people are back in work the following day?
Indeed. Now, the only saving grace this year is that Christmas falls on a Friday. Yeah. So they'll get their normal weekend off. Right. But, the nice thing here is that you get Christmas Day, you get Boxing Day. In the Netherlands, they have first and second Christmas, so those 2 days, the 25th and the 26th. But generally speaking, even the schools, I was talking to somebody in the States just earlier this week, and her two sons don't end school until Wednesday, which is literally 48 hours before the actual event itself. And a lot of companies will work right up until Christmas Eve itself. Yeah. There's not the respect for the worker that you see in many parts of Europe with 24 days or 28 days of holiday.
What about New Year's Day then?
New Year's Day is another day where it's just the day itself off, again, because it will also fall on a Friday this year. People will get the second and the third off that normally work a Monday to Friday work week. But they're... we get the first and the second, and so that.
So you don't do Boxing Day at all, then?
Don't do Boxing Day at all, and it's really sad if Christmas should fall as it did last year on a Wednesday. Yes. Then you find yourself in the middle of a situation where you're trying very desperately to get through the day, and the next morning you get up and go back to work. And you'll have 2 days, and then you finally get to the weekend. So it's really some people do take their own personal vacation time around that time, but with the economic situation where it is, it's very difficult.